Hello, Hassel from House Reviews here for a not quite a review, but analysis, so to say. And this is for a documentary. Yeah, I'm doing a bit of an analysis here, just because I feel like I feel like it's more important. Than I don't really feel like I can give a full-on standard review with this. So, but well, as you can see, I still have enough a few things to say about it, and well, let's get on with it. This is the documentary film I've been waiting for the most this year. Superman, the Christopher Reeve story. Yes, the DC and Warner Brothers feature-length documentary of the life of Christopher Reeve, mainly post his accident, his horse riding accident that left him a paraplegic till his death in 2004, and as well as a bit of life before before he became started acting and got the role of Superman, and a bit of his life in between. And, this was always something I was looking forward to when I first heard about it. I mean, of now there have been a ton of tragic stories in Hollywood, but Christopher Reeves uh is probably the one that seems the most tragic. I mean, to think that a sim an act, he was doing something that he knew how to do for so long and loved doing, like horse riding, and just how he fell off the horse and hit the one spot that you know had he landed on, well, the one side of the neck that pretty much took away his ability to walk and do things on his own. Just it's tragic as, and I'm gonna go on about the Superman curse. I mean, that is, I mean, it's a theory that a lot of people see as valid, but I don't. It's just, in my view, it's very circumstantial. Yes, there are many things that support it when it comes to the tragic fate of a lot of the actors and of all the Superman, films, TV series, whether it be deaths, or controversial sackings. Yeah, I know. Although to be fair, I don't think Cavill fully can. Well, Cavill's departure was strange and in many ways people could say unfair, but. You hear about the other stuff, the other actors who have played Superman and Lois Lane, all that. Yeah. But anyway, um, I've always so when I first heard about this, I was really excited. I wanted to see this. The problem was that my cinema that usually shows documentary films didn't get it when it first came out. In fact, it took 2 weeks before they finally decided to show it. And man, I was like, oh, come on. But I still kept hope that it would show up. And thankfully it did. And I'm glad it did because, man, this is a great documentary. I'm being honest. This is a really great documentary, and a lot of people are saying it, but it really is. Just how it goes over everything that Christopher Reeve went through since his accident, and how he pushed, he brought, started to advocate for people with who were paraplegics and and disabilities. How he set up his foundation, he's returned to doing filming and directing films and all that, including one of another paraplegic who did an interview with this, who tragically died early this year. Um, you've got obviously it talks about his relationships with his wife, who passed away 2 years after, his children. Obviously all his kids do interviews with it. A bunch of his well-known friends, Jeff Bridges and no, not Jeff Bridges, Jeff Daniels, sorry, Glenn Close, Whoopi Goldberg. They're all interviewed with this. They also talk about Robin Williams and his support of Reeve during that time. And kind of the most surprise, one of the things that left me the most surprised is, I think it was Glenn Close who said that if Christopher were alive, Robin Williams probably would still be alive. And um, knowing what I know, knowing what we know of how Robin Williams passed away, um, maybe. maybe it's close. You could say I could maybe you can agree because they were close friends. They were roommates, and considering how much they really were, well, how close they were, him and Rob Williams and Reeve. But I don't know. Knowing what we know of how Robin, what of why Robin took his own life, it's hard to really say. And but other than that, it's shot really well, this documentary, and when they do archival footage of Reeve, it fits, and the CG animation of of a stone carving of Reeve and as Superman, and how you see his body change in each different at certain points to reflect on his journey. Like as when they first show talk about him and his accident, they show kryptonite, sort of a I would say kryptonite growing from his chest and or neck actually see show where he's become paralyzed and how over the years especially when he has when he does have ish when he when say his health started to catch up with him or his off moments like with his ventilation and all that how the kryptonite either spreads, grows, sometimes recedes, I think. And then, and even seeing his body and everything, like and everything. You also get a bit of an insight into his family, of his family life. I mean, in particular, his strained relationship with his father, who was a well-renowned poet. I forget his name, but yeah, that the effect of having his family, um, of his parents going through a divorce at a pretty young age and and how his family just situation was pretty, you know, pretty out there. I mean, his father married twice, his mother, I think, married twice. They both had kids ec- from then other marriages. How his family just became so disjointed. It's kind of interesting to hear about it. Obviously you hear about his kids, and you get it's because of what happened with his parents is why he sort of was hesitant on marriage first with with his first partner, who was a I think makeup artist for for the first couple of Superman movies, and then eventually he met Dana Reeve, his wife, his nan his he obviously split with her I think in the making of Superman 4, which I mean to be fair they even addressed that Reeve was never interested in doing 3 and 4. He didn't like them. He didn't like doing them. He didn't like making them. I mean, and to be fair, well, not many people like them anyway, 3 and 4. And obviously, they eventually see how his mind changed after he met Dana, and eventually got married and had his second son. Yeah, in my view, it shows everything you want to hear about this, and it gives you more of an insight to everything about him. And I think this is a really good documentary. I'm glad DC did this, and I don't know whether James Gunn had any say in this, but I think the people who made this did a really good job, and I think it's an amazing documentary. Definitely worth a watch. Definitely, if I was to give it a high score, I'd probably give it anywhere from a 9 to a 10. So it's really high up there. Definitely worth a watch. If you can't see in theaters, wait till it comes out on streaming services, or if you can purchase it, all good, power to you. Great documentary, love it, fantastic. So what's next? Well, hopefully either a video game review or some sort of or something big. I'm not going to say what, but you never know. You're just going to have to wait and see. In the meantime, House of from House Views is out, and I shall see you next time. Ciao.